Welcome to the Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks. We're the Becks!
Hi, we're the Becks.
Oh, we're the Becks.
We just moved to the southern states now.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know. Want to try that one again?
No,
we're gonna go with it.
We're gonna go with it. That's how today was for us.
That's how this week was.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one for us. But we are the Becks, and we are back to talk about another spooky thing.
Is this episode 66?
Potentially. I don't remember.
I believe. Maybe? No, we're past 66.
I think we are. What are you doing?
I don't know. I thought we were like, I don't know.
Is it 69?
No, I wasn't going to go there. 666 is scary, so sixes. We're like 68, I think, or 67.
This is 69! This is 69!
I was not the one thinking that. It was this girl with the her. So we're leaving all that in there.
Yep.
Because we're funny.
Our humor is not juvenile.
No.
Not at all. Anyway, we're going to do something a little different for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about a series. We're going to talk about a couple of episodes per one of our episodes.
Yes, you said it right. You did well.
Titling is going to be a little confusing. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
Anyway.
Yes, The Haunting of Hill House, amazing miniseries that Netflix put out, written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who is a goat. I love him. Not like the animal, like greatest of all time.
I was gonna baa like a sheep. I couldn't remember what sound a freaking goat made. Damn it. What sound does a goat make? What? Now I'm interested. You know, because you said goat, not like the animal, so I was gonna make a goat sound, but
it would have been so funny if you had baaed like a sheep, though, because yeah.
I have to find out what sounds.
This is so unhinged already. We haven't even started talking about the show yet.
That's the sound I was gonna make. Was a bat. See? Sounds like a sheep.
Do you remember when we got into a passionate debate / argument when we were talking about The Descent? About the moose versus elk thing?
Yes.
I feel like this is similar vein. Okay, so
Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, so we watched
episodes 1 and 2.
Yes, and we're going to talk about them. This is why we should be recording our faces, because you would not believe the face that Becky just made. I can't even describe it.
Eventually, our plan for the winter is to get into this room that we record in, finish drywalling it ourselves, paint it, and set it up as like a real recording studio with cameras and stuff. Or a camera. We don't need multiple angles. No. Anyway, on we go. Onward and upward.
So the first episode is called Steven Sees a Ghost. And I've seen this show several times now because I love this show. And I always forget that it starts out with Steve. I fucking hate Steve. You've seen this, right?
Yeah.
I just think he's a dick. We'll get into it. He's just hard for me to tolerate. I don't know. Him and Shirley both are my least favorite of the...
Well, I think because they're the oldest, so they... You know, you wouldn't understand you're a baby of the family. I'm a baby of the family. I think the oldest are... I mean, my oldest brother was kind of a jerk. Rest in peace. Or I loved him, but he was always kind of... Like, he didn't like it when I cried. He didn't like it when I said how I felt. He always knew better.
Mm.
And that's kind of how Steven is in this episode show.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like my brother Adam was like that when I was growing up.
What? No, maybe he wasn't.
Anyway, okay, we'll get into it. Well, let's talk about Steven, okay? So he's a writer, and he's interviewing this lady who had a paranormal experience, and he's thinking he might include it in his book if he likes it enough. Now, he had gotten famous by writing a autobiographical novel about his experience in, quote, the most haunted house in America, referring to Hill House. Now, it's not a nice book. It's very mean to his father. It talks shit about his mom. It's
a very uncomfortable book for the entire family.
Yeah, like, and
But he didn't really tell them what he was writing about.
Right.
And he kind of took advantage of their stories.
Yeah.
Or their point of view of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And exploited that quite a bit.
Yeah. Each time he talks to anybody, well, he mostly just talks to Shirley, but he talks to his dad during this episode at one point, too. And, like, nobody's real friendly with him.
No.
Because everybody was offended by the contents of the book. And also, he's not very nice to this lady that he's interviewing.
No. And the whole episode, you have flashbacks of Hill House back when the family lived there.
Yes.
And then present day.
So, Hill House, named after the hills that owned it, his parents are fixing up. And they're living in it while they're fixing up. They're going to fix it up to sell.
They flip houses.
Yeah. And the longer they stay there, the more weird stuff starts to happen.
Dude, first and foremost, there's this door upstairs at the end of the hallway that's a red door.
Yep.
That there is no key to get into. I'm not staying in a house where there's a door that I can't get into.
Even though it's like a real old house?
Yeah, no. If I can't get into the door, there's something behind there and I'm out.
Or you could just take the door off its hinges.
Truth. Second, the caretakers of the house do not stay there after dark.
The Dudleys.
They just don't. Again, I'm out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge house. It's a mansion. And so it has to have a staff. And the Dudleys kind of come with the house, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But they always leave before dark. Mm-hmm. They won't stay after dark.
That tells me something really important.
Well, they're also a bit religious, a bit secular.
If the caretakers of the property aren't staying there after dark, I'm not staying there after dark.
The interesting thing about starting off with Steven, and I think this is so smart, the show is so good, is Steven, the whole time he is a child, in the house, maintains that he never had any paranormal experiences. Yeah. And that he doesn't even believe in ghosts.
Yeah, he tells the lady that he's interviewing in her own home that he doesn't believe in ghosts, and there's always something to explain it. Always.
Yeah.
And that he never saw anything. And she said, well, what about your book? And he said, it's other people's stories. I use other people's stories.
Yeah.
And again, he said, there's always an explanation.
Right. He makes this little monologue about how ghosts are real, but they're not spirits. They're memories or wishes or it's grief. Or...
Yeah, the mind makes it up to deal with whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And she had said that her husband had gone off the road in a horrible storm. He went down a cliff and ended up upside down in his car and was hanging from his seatbelt.
Yeah.
And he had broke his arm, so he could only honk the horn just for a little bit.
Because it was painful.
Because it was painful. And he actually died there because of that. And they couldn't find him because he couldn't be seen from the road.
Yeah.
And she went to bed in their bedroom, and there were drips of water on her. And then when she opened her eyes, she saw her husband hanging upside down. And she described that his face was purple, and she could hear the horn beeping. And when he opened his mouth, it was not a scream, but it was actually a horn beep.
Yeah.
And she said that she couldn't really move. She just stared at it. And she knew she could scream, but it just wouldn't come. And then she went to get up and leave and fell. And that's when she could scream. Yeah. She remembered that she could scream. But he basically told her, nah, not real.
Well,
he said he wanted to stay in the night at the house and see. But he said that there's always that explanation of what causes that.
And he had very, very neat explanations for her the next night. I thought it was so weird. Like, he didn't put on pajamas or anything when he laid down. Like, he didn't get under the covers. The siblings are all spread across the country. But they all wake up at the same time. For Steve, it's 12:03. For Theo and Shirley, it's 3:03. And Luke wakes up, but there's no clocks around. But they all wake up at the same time. And Steve actually gets water dripped on him. Mm-hmm. He investigates a little bit, and it was a leak in the ceiling from a drizzle that was happening.
Yeah, and there had been a stop sign right outside her window, but someone had stole the stop sign, and there was an almost accident when he was investigating the water dripping from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And so they laid on the horn, so he had that explanation as she just heard it when she was dreaming. Yeah. And this was all just...
And she gets a little bit frustrated. She's like, no, I saw him. Yeah. And he's like, you were dreaming. You wanted to see him. And she's like, you think I wanted to see my husband like that? And he's like, better to see him like that than never again. Which...
I don't think so. I don't want to see my husband like that. Yeah, no.
Well, it's so interesting because, and we'll get into Shirley's episode in a minute, but there's such a difference between Steven saying that to the woman and Shirley being a mortician and fixing the bodies so people have a better image than what they were potentially left with.
Yeah.
So that's just a little comparison I wanted to point out because that's interesting too. Mm-hmm. Steven gets a call from Nell while he's talking to this lady.
And Nell is the baby sister. She's the youngest sister.
And he ignores the call because he's working.
I get the feeling from everybody that the two youngest siblings are just annoyances to them. They just kind of get annoyed by them.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah. Steve and Luke are the boys. Shirley, Theo, and Nell are the girls.
Yeah. And Nell is the youngest, and...
She and Luke are.
And Luke is the youngest boy. So, yeah. So I think they really get super annoyed with the 2 youngest. It's almost like they're just pains in the ass. Because Luke is a drug addict. He's got issues.
And Nell has a lot of issues, too.
Yeah.
With her mental health.
Yeah, so they kind of are annoyed by them and don't always respond to them, it seems.
Yeah, because Nell tries to call Steve first, that we know of. And she tries to call Shirley as well. And it's revealed that she never tried to call Theo. And she couldn't call Luke because he was in a rehab center. And the last person she calls is her dad. But she tried to reach out to Steve and Shirley first.
Yeah.
So Steve does listen to the voicemail. And he calls Shirley and is basically like, yeah, she sounds fucked up. But, like, that's kind of typical. Like, something's always wrong. And that's hard too, because like when you're in a situation where you're friends with somebody or somebody in your family, like something is always happening to them and they're always going through something and it's always horrible. Like, yeah, you do get kind of burnt out from it. And so it's like, can you really blame Shirley and Steve for being a little bit dismissive of her? Not really. I mean, listening to the voicemail, she was obviously like fucked up in the head about it though. Like whatever was going on, and it's like, okay, we need to call like her therapist, you know?
Yeah, something.
Like, is she not on her meds?
Someone needs to reach out. Something needs to happen, but nobody really did.
And they end up calling Hugh, their dad, because Nell in the voicemail, she was like, also, I'm like really super worried about Luke. Like, I just feel like something's wrong. And so when they talk to Hugh, they're like, well, can we check on Luke? Like, you know, whatever. And as far as they know, he's still at the rehab center.
Yeah, he just got his 90-day chip or whatever.
Yeah. So,
but the dad says he's on his way.
Yeah. He was like, I'm going to meet you at Nell's. Like, you're the closest. Steve doesn't have the chance to tell him, like, oh, yeah, me and my wife are separated. Like, I don't live there anymore. Yeah. I'm traveling for work. Like, you know, he's not close by at all. Because Nell calls Hugh, and that is a fucked up, weird phone call. Like, you could just tell that something is seriously wrong, and that's why Hugh immediately gets on a plane. And
well, you get flashbacks before of Nell and Luke in their bedroom in the house, in the Hill house, when they're just little, and she's crying, and Steven gets up and tells Theo, I got it. should we wake up Mom? No, I got it. And he goes in the bedroom, and Nell is crying. Mm-hmm. And Dad hears her, so he comes in behind Stephen. And she's like, hey, it was the bent neck lady. And he's like, oh, her again? So she'd been seeing this. And he's like, sometimes dreams just leak out. Yeah, they spill a little bit. I told Stephen to go to bed and calmed the kids down. But you could tell there was real fear in them about the bent neck lady.
That's such a fucked up thing for a kid to describe.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would be concerned as a parent.
For sure.
Because she's like 5 maybe, or 6.
Yeah.
She and Luke are, and it's like...
Yeah, I'll tell you, when Keegan came to me about the scary girl that lived in our house, if he'd have told me when we were living in our house, I'd have been gone. He now tells me it was just his imagination making it up, but I 100% believe he saw that. He's an adult now, and we tend to block those things out and would not want to believe that they're real.
Yeah.
But he was so innocent when he told me that, and I was so glad we were no longer in that house when he came to me and said that, because that terrified me. Nope. I mean, yes, you have bad dreams, but bent neck lady.
Yeah. And it's revealed, too, that Nell has sleep paralysis, too.
Yeah.
So, just this little girl, terrified, frozen, can't move, looking up at this horrible bent neck thing hanging over her.
Yeah. And then Dad goes to leave the bedroom, and...
the door opens.
He goes into Shirley's room because she's talking.
Sleep talking about the red room.
About the red room. They're dancing in the red room. He's like, oh, really? And then she talked about pandas.
Yeah, something silly.
Yeah, and pandas don't like macaroni.
Yes, that's right.
And so then he turned around and left her room after, he noted that, yes, pandas don't eat macaroni. And the room that Nell and Luke were in the door's open, and he had shut it. So he goes over and he shuts it again and, checks it because he thinks, maybe the latch isn't working, or the kids are awake, or, weird. So then he goes back to bed with his wife, and they talk a little bit about some stuff.
It's interesting to me how sort of dismissive people are of Nell. I mean, it's established right away. Yeah. She's dismissed. It's not that they don't care, but Hugh doesn't believe her. He thinks she's dreaming.
Mm-hmm. She's having nightmares.
Steve definitely doesn't believe it. And then present day, the phone call gets ignored.
Yeah.
So... Steve goes home after leaving the lady's house, and as soon as he gets in the door, he sees Luke there. Mm-hmm. So he's broken out of rehab, and he looks like he stole some shit from Steve's apartment.
Yep.
So Steve's like, hey man, you can have the camera, and I got $200, but you gotta leave the iPad. I need that. And Luke takes the money, and he leaves. Steve doesn't say anything to Luke about Nell.
No.
At all, which I think is wild. I mean, this is another case of people being sick of Luke because he's stolen, he's lied,
If you've ever had an addict in your life, it is something that happens, and it's really hard on the family. Tough love has to come in somewhere along the line. Yeah. And it's not the person, it's the disease and the aftermath of what goes along with addiction. People are fed up.
It's still crazy to me because it's like, I guess Steve is just tired, in general. For me, I would be mad because it's like, okay, he assumes that he's out of rehab and he's using again.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, have you talked to your sister, your twin? Something is fucking seriously wrong. I don't have time for this shit right now. You need to straighten out.
But I don't think that Steven at that point even really thought something was seriously wrong with Nell. Called his wife and said she might show up. And his wife was like, why would she show up at my house? And just,
Yeah, because Steve hasn't told anybody that they're separated. He's told no one.
Yeah. So the whole situation is just, no one really believes that something is wrong with Nell. It's just she's again being a pain in their butt or whatever. But... yeah, no, not good.
And it actually cuts to Nell showing up to Hill House, which is in disrepair, and she starts dancing around the house, seemingly
it is completely falling to the ground. I mean, it's just rotting.
Yeah, seemingly by herself. Mm-hmm. Steve gets to his apartment, the door's broken, because Luke kicked it in, presumably, and Nell's there. She's standing in the corner.
And Steven gets super mad.
He's like, nice. You just stood there and let Luke loot me. Everyone's worried sick about you. Hugh's on a plane.
Why would you do that? Well, I mean, he's yelling at her. He's going off on her.
Yeah.
And she's just standing there, not speaking, just staring at him, like, terrified.
Yeah, she does. She looks scared or upset or sad or, a mixture of all of those things. And when he's yelling at her, he gets a call from Hugh, and he answers it. And the reception's really bad. And he's like, it's about Nell. It's about Nell. And Steve's like, he's about to say, yeah, she's right fucking here.
Yeah.
And Hugh goes, she's dead.
She went to the house.
She went to the house and she's
he's
dead.
like, what? And he's like, she went to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she's dead. And he turns around and she's right there.
And her face.
In his face and her face.
And her face starts to change. She starts to look not so good.
The whole eye things that they throw in this movie, or in this series. I forgot how creepy they were. Yeah. And it happens more than once. I don't like it.
Boom. That's Steven sees a ghost.
Yeah.
To be clear, the ghost does disappear. She's gone.
She's gone.
Steve is left alone.
Nell is dead.
And Nell is dead. Now, the second episode kind of shows the same sequence of events, but from Shirley's point of view. So Steve does call her and has to break the news to her at like 3 a.m. or whatever it is, that Nell is dead. But it just kind of established that, okay, Shirley has a family, she owns a funeral home, she rents a guest house to Theo, her sister, and she became a mortician because she likes to fix people. Because, well, she found a box of kittens.
Yeah.
And they were, at Hill House in a shed, and they had been abandoned by their mother for whatever reason.
First, let's hold on. The whole wasp nest,
oh my God,
the hornet's nest in that shed was terrifying.
Yeah.
So scary.
So she has this camera. She goes around taking pictures of everybody. She takes pictures of the house and flowers and her siblings, and she goes into the shed to take pictures of things, and there's this creepy fucking face.
Yeah, she takes a picture of the kittens, and when it flashes with her Polaroid, she sees this face looking out from the corner behind the kittens, and it was a little scary.
Yeah.
She screams. Yeah. Her dad and Mr. Dudley come running over.
And it's just an abandoned wasp nest, but they had made the nest around the shape of the mask, so it looked like a big fucking scary person.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
And then she begs her dad to keep the kittens, and he agrees, which was a mistake for everyone involved.
Yeah.
They were too young to be away from the mother, first of all. Also, I don't think anything can be alive in Hill House.
No, I don't think so either.
So
when she asked her dad if she can keep the kittens, because she's worried about the dogs on the property.
Right, the dogs.
Mr. Dudley is like, there are no dogs.
There's never been any dogs.
And he was like, they hear them every night. And he said, well, we never stay here at night past dark. He said, but there's never been any dogs on the property.
There's no evidence of dogs on the property.
So
that's a whole weird thing.
Yeah. And every night they do hear the dogs.
Yeah. One by one, these kittens start dying.
Oh.
Which, as an adult, this would fucking destroy me. Mm-hmm. And, this is Shirley's what, like 12 maybe?
Yeah, 12, 13.
So, she's young. So, a kid is going to be really upset about it. And the thing to note is that there was one kitten for each of the kids, so there was 5 kittens.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing anyone? I don't know.
Right?
The first kitten dies, and, that's obviously really upsetting, and they have, like, a little funeral for it, which I do really like Hugh and Olivia as parents.
They are good parents. For like, yeah.
For them,
for a little bit of time.
When things are normal. I just think it's cool. In the first episode, they talk about how they kind of introduced Steve to all sorts of different, like, religions and viewpoints and philosophies, because Mrs. Dudley kind of asks him if he knows Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was sweet that they had this whole funeral service for this kitten for their daughter and talked about death means and potentially the cat being in a better place or whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a sweet scene. A bug fucking crawls out of the kitten's mouth, though.
Yeah, she thinks it's alive because she sees its little mouth moving. And she gets so excited. And she's like, it's alive, oh. And then this bug crawls out.
It's super not alive.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, it shows all of the whole family at their mom's funeral, Olivia's funeral, and how Shirley does not want to get near the casket. When the funeral director, mortician guy, when he finally gets her to go up to it, she's like, you fixed her. Mm-hmm. He's like, that's what I do. And in present day, she kind of has a very similar conversation with a little boy who is there with his parents because they're burying their grandma. And so she was, as a child, she was so upset that she couldn't save these kittens. And so it's kind of like she has to fix things, right?
Yeah.
She has to fix it. So when Steve calls and tells her Nell's dead, she doesn't believe him, first of all. But when she does finally believe him and she accepts it, she decides
that she's going to fix her. She's going to do her makeup. She's going to be embalm her. She's going to be...
And her husband and Theo are both like, this is fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. It should not be you, which is 100% true. That's crazy. She even, like, part of this episode is she's on a phone call with Steve telling him to pick up Hugh and Luke for the funeral.
I was just reading that line in here because this one gives the quotes. And, yeah, she's like, Steve, do you know what I'm doing right now? I'm elbow deep in our sister's chest cavity, pulling out a bag of her internal organs. That's what happens when a body is autopsied, and I have to take it out. You have to get 2 grown men to a goddamn airport. Get it done. And,
the most valid crash out I think anyone's had. But also, I really don't think she did have any business doing that.
No, she shouldn't have been. I understand in a certain way. Like, when my dad died, my brother was a barber, and he did my dad's hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah. First of all, the funeral home did it. We were going to let them, but then when we walked in, they had my dad looking like Elvis Presley.
Oh,
his hair all slicked back, and that was not my dad. My brother's like, I need a comb. I need a comb. I need a comb. And then he took over and fixed it. But, yeah, there's... Yeah. I've known people that have done their family's makeup, and I don't know, man. I just don't think you should. I think that's hard.
I
think that's got to mess with your psyche.
I can't imagine it. I mean, we cremated my mom, so there wasn't anything like that. But I can't imagine, like, I don't know. I do remember, this is kind of a funny story. When my grandma died, when we went to the funeral, so it was my mom's mom. So I went with my mom and dad, and my aunt was there hosting the funeral because my grandma lived with my aunt and was living with my aunt when she died. They had an open casket, and so they had arranged the body and done her makeup and everything like that. And me and my mom had walked up to the casket, and we were kind of looking down at her, and it was sad and terrible, because it is.
Yeah.
And my aunt comes up behind us and stands next to me, and she leans over to my mom and is like, her boobs have never looked so good. And it was like the perfect like moment of levity that we needed. Yeah. It was true too. Like her boobs really did look good.
They put pink lipstick on my dad. My dad had very pale lips. He had heart issues and
so they had to put some color.
Vessel issues because he only had one arm and one leg. But they put like a pink lipstick on him, and I had to wipe it off. I was like, oh my God, why are his lips so freaking pink? And I had never, I had touched my grandpa's hand. He died 5 months, almost to the day before my dad. And I had touched his hand, and that was about it for me. Because I was in my early 20s and didn't want to touch dead people. My dad was a different story. I held his hand, I cried, I kissed him on the forehead. And so when we walked up to the casket and I saw the pink lipstick, I was like, oh my God, we have to get the lipstick off of him. And my sister-in-law's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I look at my father's fucking forehead, and my sister-in-law had kissed him on the forehead, and there were lip prints on his forehead. So we had to get lipstick off his lips and his forehead.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
It's so funny that she thought immediately, she was like, oh my God.
It was oh my God, I'm so sorry, because she looked and saw it. I didn't see that. I just noticed his pink freaking lips, and I'm like, oh no. And I know that all sounds morbid and weird, but when it's your person, it's different.
Yeah.
My dad was my person at that time, so.
For sure. It's like, I do kind of get where Shirley's coming from, though, with everything, because she even tells the kid, it's like, okay, you don't want to remember Grandma without her teeth or her wig and looking sick.
Yeah, because he said Grandma kept coming to his bed and sitting on his bed, and that the final night before the funeral, she looked horrible. Yeah. But she had died of cancer, and she didn't have hair, and she had false teeth, and he knew all this, so she thinks he was remembering the worst because...
Yeah. And so she tells him, like, I'm going to make her look like she was when she was healthy as a horse, you know, beautiful, the way that you should remember her. Yeah. The way that it you know, it'll be better. It will replace those bad sights.
But I wonder if Scary Grandma was really coming and sitting on his bed.
Well, considering...
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
So... God, this was so evil of Mike Flanagan, by the way. Shirley is doing Nell's makeup, and it flashes back to Shirley doing Nell's makeup at her wedding.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mike Flanagan.
Right?
Because that's what that was the last time she did Nell's makeup. Oh my God.
Yep.
It's so horrible. And, oh, fuck. And that was just... I don't even know what else to say about that. Like, no, it flashes back to her doing Nell's makeup for her wedding day. And that's when Shirley really breaks. She has to get the fuck out of there. But before she leaves, she ends up seeing her mother's ghost.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy.
Yeah, very, very creepy.
You don't really know how their mom died at this point. Like,
no.
You're getting things, like the house just... Things in the house just are weird.
Yeah.
Things are starting to happen. Mom and Dad start fighting.
A little
about
bit.
The cats. She blames him that Shirley is messed up over the cats.
Which clearly she is.
He should have never let her have diseased cats. And he's like, what was I supposed to tell her? Blah, blah. You know. So they had kind of a little fight there, which was unusual for them. And so... Yeah, just little things.
The show does not have jump scares, but it feels like you get jump scared a lot. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a creeping sense of dread when all of these different things happen. And
I don't know, when the faces turn and are all weird and they're like, ah! I jump a little. I mean, there's not things like just suddenly there, but it's a little scary.
I guess. I don't know. I always cry. Like, I always cry when it cuts back from the wedding to her trying to do Nell's makeup. Episode 4, I always cry during episode 4. I cry a lot during the show. It's just...
Well, you're not on episode 4 now, so we're not talking about it yet.
No, I know. I just said, like, I just cry a lot watching this show because it's not just an incredible horror show.
But there's a whole family dynamic there.
It's just... excellent storytelling, and it's so creepy, and it's so, like, emotionally impactful. And that's why it's like, okay, I dislike Steven a lot, but it makes so much sense narratively for them to start out with him for the show, because this show is literally about how ghosts aren't always spirits. They're memories. They're grief. They're moments in time. That's what this show is, I think, at its core. And I'm just really excited for us to talk more about it, because this, literally the first 4 episodes are just the same 2 days from the 4 alive siblings' point of views. Yeah. And I mean, we get Nell's eventually, the 5th one, but it's...
No, at the end of Stevens, is that where we see what happened with the mom? Part of it? Was that the end of that one? No, the end was with Nell. So is it in Shirley's that we see the house where they leave?
Well, it's in Steve's a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because Hugh shows up he wakes Steve up in the middle of the night, and Steve is just passed out. You know, he's sleeping, and Hugh's like, "We gotta go. Whatever you do, don't open your eyes."
Yeah. First he shuts the door and locks it, Yeah. He's like, shh, shh.
Something tries to get in.
And we're going to run. And something tries to get in. And the door handle's moving slow both ways. And then he hears it walk away. And so then he opens the door. And you can tell he was terrified.
He's freaked out.
The lock makes a click. And he's like he's holding his breath. And he's like, I'm going to carry you. And Steven's a big kid. He's not a little kid.
Yeah. He's
like, I'm going to carry you. Don't open your eyes no matter what we do.
Or what you hear.
Yeah.
Or what you see.
And he's like, Dad, what? He's like, just don't. Promise me. So they take off running down the hallway.
And Steve does open his eyes a little bit, and you see something coming after them. It's not clear. It's something. It's like
a humanoid figure. You can tell that.
Yeah.
It looks female.
And
they get to the stairs, and Hugh puts him down, and they go running down the stairs and out to the car. And Luke gets out of the car, and he's like, get back in the car, get back in the car. And they're like, what about Mom? What about Mom?
Yeah.
And
Luke asks, he said that Luke says that he saw Abigail in the window. That was the other thing is, at one point, Olivia is like, hey, have you guys seen Luke? She's talking to Mrs. Dudley and Steve, and Steve's like, he's in his, like, did you check the treehouse? And she's like, haha, very funny. And she apparently never checks the treehouse because Steve has to go get him from the treehouse. That'll be important.
Steven did say he saw his mom, and Dad was like, that's not Mom.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you know. They just drive away.
Yeah. We do get a snippet of, like, okay, you find out that Olivia is dead because there's tabloids. And Hugh's attorney is like, they're going to want to talk to the kids about what happened. And Hugh's like, the kids didn't see shit. Like, I'm not having my kids exposed to the media like that. Blah, 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 whatever.
They can tear me apart on the stand. I don't care. They're not doing that to my kids.
Like, yeah. He's like, I know what happened. They never arrested me.
They deemed it a suicide.
Yeah. So I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not doing that to my kids. And it's such an interesting change seeing that to, like, in the future when they talk about how Steve really kind of vilified his dad in the book, especially.
Yeah.
And how he just made himself look crazy, and he lost custody of them, so it ruined their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, I think, obviously blames Hugh for leaving Olivia in the house.
Yeah.
Because she was not in the car with the rest of them.
No, she wasn't. And there's a time when they all woke up at the same time where Shirley says, Nell's in the red room.
Yep.
That was creepy, too. And the red room, you're assuming, because you've only seen just small parts, is maybe the door that's red and you can't get in.
Yeah.
And when the girls were trying to get in there with the keys that Mr. Dudley was giving them, they couldn't get in. But Nell had said, there's something in there. I saw it walk by there. I saw its shadow go by underneath the door when I looked.
Yeah.
And when they walk away because they can't get in the room, you do see, like,
there's something in there.
There's something in there.
Who knows what it is, though?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. Again, door that won't open. In that big of a house, I'm gone. Who knows what's living in there?
There's lots of hidden things in this house. Like, in later episodes, there's even more hidden shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No. Gone.
It's an old, creepy house. It's cool. They have this beautiful statue garden type
It's a beautiful place, but I just
Shit's
don't
haunted.
play with scary things like that. No, it's okay.
Like that, she says.
No. Scary things are fun to a certain extent, but real life scary things that come after you, fuck that. I don't swear. But no, nope. No. Don't do it.
Yeah. It's... Shirley's episode was called Open Casket. I forgot to mention that, so yeah. I've always found it to be really interesting. Like, I did think about becoming a mortician briefly.
You said that. I remember in the past.
But I realized I would have to, like, talk to grieving people, and the customer service aspect of it was, like, it's really scary for me. I wasn't
it's really weird because I've dealt with a lot of morticians, people that work at funeral homes. I've dealt with a lot of them. I mean, obviously, I've lost a lot of people in my life, and my mom and I worked for a flower shop, so you have to deal with them there, too. And a lot of them are really great, and they were excellent with my dad. My husband's death was the most horrible experience I've ever had at a funeral home. However, the funeral home's roof had just collapsed due to a bad storm. But yeah, they listed Keegan as a girl in his obituary. They didn't listen to me. They didn't ask me questions. So I had been up for 48 hours. My husband had died. You know, I was sitting with him while he was dying. So sometimes customer service really wasn't there, which is weird because I'd known that guy for years and years and years, and I thought he would have been better than that. It was kind of sad for me.
Maybe because he knew you, he was like, he kind of phoned it in anyway.
Yeah, whatever. It was stupid. But yeah, no, having to deal with grieving people I did not like that portion of the flower shop business. It's hard.
Well,
I'm better at it now.
The thing that happened to me when my mama died, because flowers are so expensive, you know. Mm-hmm. It's like I wanted to get 2 just small bouquets for my mom with calla lilies because they were her favorite. But that was all I knew about, like, floral arrangements and stuff. I didn't know shit about it. So I called 2 different places, and I'm like, here's my budget. This is her favorite flower. What can you guys do?
Yeah.
And the one place was great. The bouquet was prettier and just higher quality, I think, overall. Less expensive. The other one that I got, I think one was 100 and one was 75. So the 75 one was beautiful. It was perfect, whatever. I called up the other flower place, which I will not name. I'll tell you later. And I'm like, here's my budget. Here's your favorite flower. What can you do for me? And the girl who had answered the phone, I think, was new. And she's like, I'm not really sure. Let me ask my manager, I'm like, okay. And I hear, because she doesn't put me on hold or anything. Yeah. I hear the lady go, well, I don't know what the fuck she wants.
Oh, my God. And she knew it was for a funeral, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, who does that?
Yeah. And so she gets on the phone, and I'm just, like, flabbergasted.
And you still ordered from her?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you were grieving.
I don't think I had the bandwidth to, like, really fully.
No, you wouldn't have. Nope. Comprehend what was really happening at that time.
Yeah, so it wasn't until later that I was like, the other thing that pissed me off is, like, they both delivered. I paid for delivery.
Yeah.
And the one almost got the date wrong.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Or no, I think they did get the date wrong. I think they showed up a day early. I'm like, I told you when I called that it was on this date, Saturday, not a Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, who would have a funeral on a fucking Friday?
Well, people have them every day.
Well, I know, but...
Yeah, no, I get it.
But she was like, oh, well, I guess I'll have to take them back. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you will. Because they're not supposed to be here until tomorrow. And I know I didn't fuck that up.
That's horrible.
So
just the whole thing from beginning... Just the whole thing from beginning to end.
Becky's
That's
so
horrible.
Angry she's throwing things.
No, that really frustrates me. They should have never treated you that way. I don't like that.
No, I would never go back to them.
No.
The other place, though, like I said, they were a little bit cheaper, and I liked the bouquet better, and they were super nice. So it's crazy to me, because it's like, customers can be frustrating, especially when they don't know what they want. But literally, I was 23.
You just lost your mom.
Yeah, I was having to organize everything by myself, and I had no idea what to do for flowers. And it's like, they could have just I don't think it would be that hard. Like, just do a basic bouquet. Like,
I worked at a flower shop, and I'll tell you what, my mom, all you had to do was tell her, and she would do, she would come up with something.
Yeah.
She would be like, okay, I'm so sorry. I can remember Dad died in April, so there was this family over where we lived that had lost like 6 or 7 members of their family, all within just a few months.
Oh, shit.
And
That's
they
awful.
came in, and I was there by myself, and I'm like,
oh, boy.
My grandpa died 5 months before then, and I was like, oh, I was 22, still a baby. My grandpa was the first person that I lost, other than a friend I lost right after high school, but that was the first person that meant the world to me, was my grandpa that had died in my life. And I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And my mom just happened to come in with my dad. They were on their way to Saginaw. My dad was having some health issues, and he had to have a test down at the hospital. They came in, and my mom actually took the order. And I was standing with my dad, and I'm like, oh, I just can't deal with this. And he's like, you got to deal with death, boo. It happens. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Nope. And he said to me, he's like, everybody dies. And I'm like, not you. He looked at me and he kind of gave me this smile. I said, well, at least not this week. My dad died 2 days later.
That's fucked up.
He fucking knew. He knew. And that I still think about that. But that's when I learned how to deal with people grieving, because I was the only one in my friends that had lost a parent from that point until years later.
Ah, that's fucking haunting as shit.
It is. Yep. But things like that are crazy.
For me, I was relieved that my mom wanted to be donated to science. So we couldn't because of COVID. They weren't doing that. So
That's so unfair.
So we had to cremate her. I was glad I didn't have to think about them like putting makeup on her or anything like that. I understand why people do that, but for me personally, that's never been necessary for me. I don't think that I have to see somebody in a casket or anything like that for closure, but some people do need that, and I'm not like dissing them for that. It's just never been my preference, I guess.
For me, it was a thing for a long time.
Like you needed it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know so much now that I've had so much death. I mean, I have literally held someone's hand when they took their last breath.
Yeah.
So I think it would depend for me who it was. As far as the makeup and stuff,
I know that it's necessary. Like you need it.
It is. Especially when you have an open casket. Like when Vince died, everything with him was super quick. Like he died Monday night at whatever time, 1 a.m. And he was cremated and back to me by Wednesday. It was that quick.
Oh, wow.
We went to the funeral home that same day. He died at 1 a.m., 1:05 a.m., whatever it was. We were at the funeral home at 10:30 in the morning making arrangements. They set it up for later in that afternoon for us to go see him. We went and saw him. We said our goodbyes because my kids needed that.
Yeah.
But they did put a little makeup on him then. We donated his corneas, but they couldn't use them because they weren't in good enough shape because of his diabetes. So we had to wait for that to be done, and then we went and saw him, and then he was immediately taken and cremated. It was like bam, bam, bam. Everything was so quick. It was overwhelming. But they put a little makeup on him for the kids' sake. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of open casket anymore. My dad used to say, "Oh, he looks good. Fucking A, he looks dead." That's what my dad would always say. Nobody looks good. They look dead. I will tell you, though, however, when my grandma died, I went to see her. I was super pregnant for Jake. In fact, missed her funeral because I was in labor for Jake. But I went to her viewing, walked up to the casket, and almost hit the floor. Never seen my grandma look that good. Ever.
Oh, wow.
They did a phenomenal job with that lady. But I've never walked up to... My dad didn't look good. My dad 100% looked dead. Vince didn't have... We cremated him. The kids saw him, said goodbye. Yeah. And then he was cremated. My brother, I didn't see him. I don't know. Personal preference, but my mom does not want any of that. And
I know there's like religious aspects to it too. Like sometimes because of your religion you have to be buried or you have to be cremated or what have you. So that's always... the Catholic
religion, that we learned that when we were in New Orleans, that they do not believe in cremation. So to get around that, they came up with the...
To get around it, she says.
Well, isn't that what the guy at the...
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, at the cemetery told us?
They do the...
To kind of get around it, they do the tombs that basically naturally cremate them. Because you can't really bury anybody in New Orleans, so what you gonna do?
You're below the water.
Yeah. Crazy. There's just a lot of different things that go along with death and dying.
Yeah. So this is probably going to be the tone for all of these episodes. So just, strap
lots of death, lots of suicide, lots of trigger warnings. There's some shit that goes on in this series that's pretty intense.
It's good though. It's really good. If you haven't yet, you should watch The Haunting of Hill House. It's excellent. It is based on a novel. It's nothing like the novel, but it is based on the novel of the same name by Shirley Jackson, which is also really good. And it's about a haunted house, or it's about a lady that's crazy, depending on how you read it. Have you read it?
No.
It's a great novel. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining us. Today, the pod, tomorrow, the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.